in this bomb shelter, and it says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So it's been a horrific nightmare scenario. The words that come in mind are a Stephen King novel where the demonic beings take over a country and murder and massacre in a ritualistic killing spree. These terror organizations that have invaded Israel are people that have been brainwashed, conditioned, manipulated in God knows how and what ways to believe that the Jews are some sort of scapegoat for all everything that is wrong with the world. They've got 22 Arab countries. The entire Middle East is populated by Muslims. There are 2.5 billion Muslims in the world, many countries, and yet they want this tiny, tiny land the size of New Jersey. For what purpose? To destroy it the way they've destroyed most of the countries in the Middle East? Europe has been flooded by refugees, not necessarily from Israel, but from almost every Arab country. When I lived in Europe, I met people from Egypt. There's no war in Egypt. People from Morocco. There is no war in Morocco. From every Muslim country. And many of them are at war and not doing well. So Europe is flooded by refugees from Syria, from all sorts of horrific conflicts that have nothing to do with Israel. And the Palestinians have not been exactly welcomed in any of those countries. In Jordan, they massacred the Palestinians. Let's not forget that. Palestinians have not been helped by any Arab country or accepted. I think that most of the Palestinians that are in exile are in the US. And there they put a lot of pressure on the government, they're even in the Congress, to ban Israel, to do everything in their power to make sure Israel suffers and Israeli citizens suffer, ignoring the fact that in Israel there are 20% Arabs. 20% Arabs. The rocket yesterday fell on a village where my dog has been rescued from. It's a Bedouin village called Rahat. It's a central village to Bedouins who are nomadic Arabs. They live in tents, and there were children killed, murdered by these rockets sent from Gaza. So Gaza is not a place of love. It's not a place of freedom. It's not a place of tolerance. And the way young Israelis who were at a nature party dancing, they were shut down, gunned down, bodies everywhere. They celebrate death the way other people celebrate life. And it was on a holiday, a Jewish holiday, where they had this invasion that was very well orchestrated. So there must be some superpowers behind this. I'm not getting into conspiracy theories because I don't really care to. I don't know the facts, but what I do know that I've been to bomb shelter more than I'd like to. I would like to never go to bomb shelters, but went up and down. Luckily, we have a bomb shelter, unlike the Bedouin village or other places in Israel where there's no bomb shelters. Not to mention people in the south of Israel who are in bomb shelters while terrorists are burning down their homes and trying to murder them. They are hiding the way Jews hid in the Holocaust, in cellars. There's the book Maus, by this very talented Jewish animator about the Holocaust, and we really are reliving the experiences of Jews in Europe. and Jews in every Arab land, we have suffered so much degradation and violence throughout centuries. And we thought that we've come to this land. I hear the airplanes above me. Problem is that when you watch the BBC, they interview this guy in Gaza. Oh, we're under attack. Why are you under attack? Because you came, invaded our country, took people hostage. I mean, can you imagine if you live in a European country, your daughter, your wife, your girlfriend, your mother, your grandmother, your granddaughter, small children, anyone they could get their hands on, took them, treated them like a slave. And I don't know if you've seen pictures of Iran. Well, this is how they treat women, exactly the same way, dragging them like slaves. And we have the Munich Olympics. And what happened in Munich Olympics to our athletes is happening now to our citizens. They took people hostage and tortured them for just the sake of enjoying torturing. We have to call them by their name, but the news agencies of most European countries just don't call them terrorists. They call them gunmen, they call them Palestinians. Actually, the term Palestinian means invaders. And that's what they did. They just invaded our country. People wonder, why do we close off Gaza? Because if we don't, we have terror attacks. And so far, it's like a little bit. One killing a day, once a week, once a month, a few times a year, but now it was one big, horrific Stephen King novel of massacre by demonic beings. It's the only word I can use. Just left bodies. And they use the name of God, which is the worst, maybe crime. You know, just say you enjoy killing, but no, they have to use the name of God. Because what God hates Jews especially, and loves people that are Arabic only. If they love Arabic people, why did they murder the Bedouin children? What did they do to them? Nothing. These are people that are very poor and live in tents. What did these people who live peacefully in their little communities do to them that they dare to come there and just shoot them to death? Just kill as many people as you can. Arabs and Jews. Arabs were also killed and will be killed probably because the rockets don't discriminate between Jew, Arab, Christian, Buddhist. They just kill whoever is there. And if they love Jerusalem so much, why are they bombing it? Why are they throwing rockets at their holy city as they claim it? And why don't they go to Mecca and Medina and pray there? Why do they decide that Jerusalem is so important? They just change their center? All of a sudden it's not Saudi Arabia anymore? What kind of religion just changes their spiritual centers like for whatever political benefit they can gain? To be honest, I've done crying. I clung to my dog and wept mostly for the tension, for the situation I've been forced to live in after living abroad and knowing that this is not a reality Europeans or Americans live. You don't have to run into bomb shelters. You don't have to be targeted just because you were born a certain ethnic group, just because you're a Jew. These are experiences my mother had when she was a child in Europe during World War II. This is not something that I should have to live. I was born in the 60s in the land of Israel. 67, I was already in a bunker, hiding while my father went to fight all the armies invading Israel. And we won and we became victorious and we got the Temple Mount, but yet we gave it to the Muslims in a gesture of peace. And what did we get in return? Constant attacks. They use this mosque, the Dome of the Rock, as an excuse for violence. What kind of religion kills in the name of God? I'll tell you which kind of religion. No religion. It is a demonic cult. It isn't Islam, it isn't Judaism, it is a demonic cult of murder that just projects their hate to anyone. around them that is not identical to them. And let me tell you the truth. It's not only Jews they hate LGBT people, they hate anyone who's not identical to them. And you know what? Trying to make peace with them is trying to make a dysfunctional marriage work with a violent partner. It's never going to work. The only way it's ever going to happen that we can live in peace is to have a very strong army that protects us, because we are living like chickens and we are surrounded by hyenas and jackals and all kinds of... I love animals, but I have to use this as a metaphor for animals that kill but the animals kill in order to live, and they kill because this is has become their nature. I don't believe people are born with a quest for blood or murder. I think this is the way they have been conditioned by their education system, for sure, by their so-called religious leaders. It's not a religion. And when you see people that are, oh, we're so sweet and we're nice Arabs and we just want to kill Jews because they took away our homes, it doesn't work like that. Murder and violence is never excused unless somebody's threatening you. And that's what we do. We are reacting to people who threaten our lives. And I'm just so sad that there's so many people that are misinformed and do not realize what it's like for us to live like this. Because everybody has their own path, their own family descent, and people just don't see what the other is like. I mean, it's even within my group. People here live in small little tribes, and if you're not part of their DNA pool system, their DNA gene pool, you are not considered important. So people are always, oh, my relative, my friend. Yeah, but you know what? If only people would just stop looking at an ethnic or gender or any kind of identity and see the human being. See the human being like an X-ray machine. Just see what's inside, and not always judge by if this person is related to you genetically, if they come from the same ethnic group. Screw all that. Just see another living being. Not even, it doesn't matter if you're a dog or a cat or a human being, just respect living beings. That's the only concept. If you have one concept in life, that's what it should be. But unfortunately, I'm so sad that so many, it just pains me to see how the BBC portrays this. It's not a conflict. It's a massacre. It's a massacre. I'm a survivor of a massacre. If I had lived in the South, I would be dead. And if they could, they would come to my home and they would murder me. I have a dog to protect me. I don't know what they would do, but I can imagine that they don't respect any form of life. And they have something with dogs, especially. They really don't respect dogs. Maybe it's because dogs are loyal. Maybe it's because dogs have unconditional love, terms that they have never respected and will never respect. And I'm so sad for these people, because a person who can enjoy the suffering of another person is indeed a very sad excuse for a human being. So please, if you can influence your governments, and if you can influence the so-called news agencies to stop demonizing Israel for once and for all, and to just see it for what it is. We're enduring massacres here. And if there's one person who cares, one person who hears this message and says, I care, then it was all worth it talking so much. I just feel like I have to let it out. Singing helps me at the moment. I'm trying to sing uplifting songs. And I'm thinking of all the wonderful human beings I've ever met in my life. Maya Angelou, writers that I admire, rabbis I admire, spiritual leaders I admire. I've heard amazing singers. Leonard Cohen. I've heard Leonard Cohen sing. May he rest in peace. I've heard so many great people. I've met artists and writers and singers, and I'm trying to make my own movie, edit my own movie, and edit out all the Stephen King novel kind of massacre movie that's happening in my country right now. Because I'm trying to fill my mind with the good things, with the hope that things will change. Peace, light, and love.